want to start the intro?
What do you want me to say?
No, you can't do it. You're
Yeah,
new.
I'm new.
Joe, take it away for the intro, please. Thank you.
Welcome back for another. Welcome back to another episode of the Cardinal's Desk. The long desk.
What?
Shit.
Bring it back. Bring it
All
back.
right.
Shit.
And it looks like we're back for episode 2 of the Cardinal's Nest, the long-awaited sequel to episode 1. Fans have been saying, "Listen, songs in real life, that's in the past.
Thing in the past.
We're looking for the future. We're looking at podcasts.
Podcasts are
all
in.
future songs in real life canceled. Steve, take us away."
Well, I'm happy to say that this is the #1 podcast out there. You know, it's a very humbling feeling to be out here.
Are you still tooting? Like, that's 2 in less than 30. You need to calm down.
Listen,
there's a rule.
No one would have
rule.
known if she didn't bring it up.
You pooted at me like you.
No, I was.
He tilted his toot my way.
The chair was. Well, I farted, but the
right.
chair was squeaking too.
We are back with the #1 podcast in the world, the Cardinal's Nest. Happy to be here. I am here with Tia, my girlfriend, and Joe, the creator of Space Dog and Space Dog 2 Never Park Down.
Yes, but Steve.
Yes.
Let's cut to the
Let's
chase.
talk about something real.
Where is Songs in Real Life 5? Is it coming? There is rumor that it might be on its way.
Well, I'm happy you brought that up, Joe, because it just so happens that Songs in Real Life 5 is coming out in the year 2018. Sometime in the year 2018. I'm not sure when, but it is, in fact, coming out this year, 2018.
Is that Cardinal time or is it real time?
It's real time. It's real time. And it's going to be the first Songs in Real Life where it's actually based around Songs in Real Life, where it's all about what Songs in Real Life is. So it's going to be pretty cool.
I don't fully understand. Can you go into
Well, I
great
don't want to
detail
spoil
and
anything.
spoil it for
you know?
everyone?
I don't want to spoil anything, but the first few are just kind of like we're having fun, hanging out. It's the same kind of thing with this part 5, but it's all about the music. It's all about, well, they're all about music. It's hard to explain without really
It's
saying.
about the songs.
It's about the song. It's about song licensing and like getting clearances for songs.
It's about reasons why you haven't seen you for so long.
Yeah,
you know?
it's a big reason why.
Setbacks.
So you're focusing
We
on the
love
songs,
you,
but
the setbacks.
it's given new meaning to the real life part of the title.
Yeah,
Seems like.
actually, this is gonna be the most honest one because in all the previous ones, which I didn't really talk about much, but I'm always getting laid in Songs in Real Life. And what spawned me to write that was because I wasn't getting laid in real life, so I'm just like, why not just write a video where I get laid at, I can have sex with like 7 people in a
It's
video.
implied sexual relations.
Yeah, I imply it,
Everyone.
but
The parts touch, but
it's far from
No
real life.
penetration.
But part 5 is going to be the most real life it's ever been. And it's going to be pretty dope.
well, I'm so excited I can hardly contain myself.
Well, I've told Tia about it. I've been around you a little bit
Yeah,
talking
I've
about
heard
it.
a good
What's
bit
your
about it. I
first-
don't want to do any spoiling on it though, but I'm excited to see some repeat people in it, meet some people in it that I've seen a lot of, heard a lot of, and haven't met. So hey to all y'all.
And
out
you're going to
there.
have your first Songs in Real Life appearance?
Yeah, I am. Either gonna be in love or really stink up the joint. I'm not really
Whoa,
sure.
now, if we're playing the whole real life side of things,
Might
she's
as
my
well-
real life love interest, so it only makes sense. So
I mean,
cheers
Cheers.
to love.
Wow.
I'll
Which
take
which
it.
It's
kind of,
getting-
you know,
it's
it
getting
leads,
real
it leads
now.
into the next part of this podcast. Joe, how's your love life?
Tell us.
So,
Is it a tender subject?
well, I don't feel love. I've never been loved, so I don't know how to.
Reciprocate it.
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
You've been in love, Joe.
No.
I don't want to bring names into this, but
No.
okay.
I never loved her.
Joe, you've been in love.
No.
Really?
No.
Okay.
No.
I think you have.
She
Well-
blew it. Anyway,
Wow.
Tinder was going all right.
Yeah.
I was the other day. Yeah, this story ends in tragedy. Are you okay with that?
If you've never
Yes,
been in
sir.
love, I expect nothing less.
Well, I was, after striking out a few times with some ladies I met on Tinder or in person, I always go back to Tinder and I try and start over. And that's what Tinder's about. It's a fresh start. Fresh start. You meet wonderful people. Everyone's looking for the good stuff.
The right stuff.
The right stuff on Tinder. It's very high
Well,
class.
you mentioned
there.
earlier when you deleted it and put it back up, you got a lot more matches. This
Oh yeah, I
time,
changed my
so-
picture. I enlarged my nose slightly, and I put a volcano in the background.
Heating things up over there.
Do you mind going over your strategy again? Because I really want to talk about it.
I don't remember
All
specifically.
right. So earlier you had mentioned that you put the picture with your nose enlarged in the volcano in the background, and
okay.
one of you being handsome,
Yes.
and just
You
down
can't
the
you
line
can't have too many pictures of you trying to look handsome because they're gonna know that you're trying. You gotta play it dang cool. You gotta be the cool boy. I don't give a spit. Doesn't matter. I put pictures where I'm looking like I don't care. I make my nose bigger. I have a picture I'm making a silly face. I look hideous, but deep down I know I can look hideous but still look good. Because they know underneath the hideous face, there's a face in the right lighting that can look kind of good.
That's true.
I have one handsome picture of me so they know I can clean up. I got one picture of me in a bathtub so they know, yes, this boy bathes. He does that. I got a picture of me
selling point.
with a beard so they can say this boy can look like a man. And I got a picture of me with volcanoes so they're like, he travels.
Is it a real volcano?
No.
Real quick, I don't want to cut off this Tinder talk, but
Yes.
the fridge kicked on, right?
Yeah.
Can I unplug that? Because I hear it in my headset.
Unplug it.
I'm going to go unplug it real quick. I'm just going to slide the fridge on out if you guys want to keep it going.
Yeah, let's keep it going.
I've got nothing else to say. I'm done here.
Your living room has turned into the new Cardinal's nest.
And my spare bedroom, and my hallway, and my kitchen.
Yes.
And
This is the
and
new,
my
the new studio, and
bathroom, let's
we
be
appreciate
honest.
you over here at the Cardinal's Nest Productions.
It's
No
quite
problem.
clean.
It's
I'm going to go
it's
unplug
nice
it.
to house you in my teacup tree.
I have some suggestions for Songs from Real Life 5.
I'm ready to hear them. I want to hear them.
Number 1, space. Number 2, the dog.
Hey.
Cut the music out of it. No one wants to deal with real life either. We already deal with real life.
So just space in dog.
Well, Joe just wants to promote Space Dog.
Space Dog 2, Never Bark Down,
Actually,
starring me and Stephen Kardynal, as well as Alex Ranke and Ty Scott and some other boys.
Joe and myself were talking how we might be putting Space Dog 2 Never Bark Down on my main YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And I think it'd be pretty funny because
I think it'd be hilarious because from my mind, all your fans want to see Songs in Real Life and
or a webcam video
or something
Yeah.
of you. Your
not Space Dog 2.
not Space Dog 2. And then after months and months and months,
years.
in Cardinal time, so years,
Cardinal time.
they finally see an upload to a video and they click it and it's fucking Space Dog.
Never Bark
and,
Down.
and then they're like, "What?" They're gonna hate it. They're gonna say, "What the hell is this, Steve?" And it'll be.
I think it's awesome.
If it killed your channel, if Space Dog killed your channel, I mean, I'd feel bad for you, but at the same time, it'd be kind of funny. I would go down with the ship as well. I can just imagine every comment saying, "What the fuck is this?"
The comments that they used to piss me off, but now they're so overused. When I post a video after so long, people will comment saying, "Thanks for reminding me to unsubscribe." Like I get a lot of those.
There were some really mean comments for episode 1 of the podcast.
Oh yeah, episode 1 we got a lot of. Well, the thing is, I knew going into it because I was gone for a while already, and I kind of wanted to make like a webcam video or Songs in Real Life before the podcast would have like more eyeballs and a lot more loose viewership, if that makes sense. It wouldn't be as heavy on the podcast and like attack it. But I'm like, you know what? No, I'm all about this podcast episode. I'm all about what we're talking about. I'm just gonna post it. And sure enough, people not everyone, but a lot of people lost their shit on me over the first episode.
I mean, what were their complaints though? Like from the first.
I don't know if
episode?
it was more.
I watched the first one.
I read through the comments because I was looking for any mention of me just to boost my ego, and there wasn't. But I did read comments towards you, and there was some people like the podcast, but there was mostly there's the vocal minority.
Yeah,
I think the basic idea is that people want to see songs in real life, and then they so much time passes, and then they get something that they
Well, just
weren't
look
expecting.
at the podcast as like teasers,
Well, the
I mean,
podcast-
we're talking
my
about
whole-
it,
my whole
we're
thing for
inching
me-
towards it, so just.
It's like I understand where
There's
they're
a
coming
lot of
from,
stuff coming,
but
so.
there's like really. I was looking at some of the comments. I'm like, wow, these people are. They should go to church.
Nothing, though,
I think it makes sense. In the first episode,
saying
I
some mean
get
stuff.
it. But if those comments are still coming in after we're on our like 100th episode, and they're still coming in, and then like there's something really wrong, and they need to leave. If they're still hating by
I
the
think
100th
I think
episode.
a good thing with the podcast though is to supplement it with the Songs in Real Life 5.
Exactly.
Yeah, as long as you're supplementing with something.
I view the podcast as like a way to hang out. It's still content, but the way I see it is still like you're hanging out with your friends, you're being you, and you're still putting out a video for the viewers to listen to or watch. I think
it's kind of a step into your life in general. So like all they see is the videos that you make up, skidded, and all this stuff, and this stuff isn't skidded. If anything, it's random topics. They get to see who you actually hang out with, who you talk with, who you vibe with, who you drink beer with.
Well, that's exciting.
Cheers to that.
You know?
Hey.
I don't know.
One of my favorite YouTube channels is Mega64, and it's a little bit different because they're a group. Yeah, you're just one person, but they're a group of sketch comedy guys. They do mostly video game content. I'm sure a lot of people know Mega64. They're huge.
I watched some of them. You showed me a good handful of them too.
But yeah, they usually upload a sketch weekly or bi-weekly, and then every single week for the last 400 and some weeks. I think they're on episode 469.
Oh shit! Wow.
Of their podcast, but they supplement their main channel with the podcast weekly. Now it's different because they do have a team. Like they started off small, but now they have I don't know how big their team is. Less than 10 people, I'd assume, but there's like 5 or 6 of them, and but it's cool to watch the podcast because I like their videos, and then they talk about the making of their videos, and also they just shoot the shit. So that's always exciting.
Right.
But I do think
That's my least
I think after
favorite
Songs in
saying,
Real Life 5, fans will get that itch scratched,
Oh, yeah.
and then they'll be like, okay, I'm ready to hear more about this hairy boy. Let's listen to this hairy boy talk.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys say?
Well, I'm even
about
going to
that?
do, after part 5 drops, Songs in Real Life 5, I'm doing a Songs in Real Life podcast with some of the cast, and we're going to talk more about the plot of part 5.
Does Sterling, is he going to be in that?
Oh,
or is
yeah.
that still in discussion?
I can't do Songs in Real Life without Sterling. You know, there's no way.
Now that's a good boy I haven't seen in a moon or
Doesn't
two.
he have a lady too?
He does.
That'd be a good.
He does.
dual-
The only
dual
one that doesn't have a
podcast.
lady that we're talking about is Joe.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Well, the way I look at it is,
Excuse me,
this thing you got going right now, it's great and stuff, but eventually there will be a breakup and someone will be hurt. And when that time comes, I'll be looking on my Tinder. I'll still be depressed.
What's in your
and sad.
bio again, Joe?
It just says I can draw you like one of my French girls because I draw, which is a
You're a
skill.
very, very talented artist.
Right. Very.
Well, thank you very much.
Hell
But
yeah.
it's
I've
not
seen
like
some of your work.
I was talking to some of my friends about this. Other friends. Yeah.
You have more friends?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
He's making all this up.
It's all a lie. But we're talking about like skills that impress ladies, and music's one, singing, playing an instrument.
Oh, yeah.
A sport. Drawing is not really high on that list.
Drawing's up there
okay,
for
up
sure.
there.
Okay,
It's
no.
up there.
It should
But
be
if
up
you
there.
draw a portrait of a girl,
It's
that
creepy at
like
first.
yeah, that's like, how do you know what I look like? What pictures do you have of me were
But
used
not-
as reference?
I don't know.
if
But
you
at
say-
the
if
same
you-
time,
But you could write a song about a girl, sing it to her, and if you're good, then she'll be like, oh my god, I want to touch the top of your head and rub
one
your.
of the first compliments I think
earlobes
girls
or
give to guys
whatever they
whenever
do.
they don't know them is about their calligraphy, though. Like, you have nice handwriting. You know what I'm saying? I feel like if you're artistic,
Are you
normally
telling me I have
do.
nice handwriting, or
I've
are
never
you
seen
just
your
saying
handwriting, but I'm saying
hypothetically?
that's what, like, girls, whenever they see a guy with nice handwriting, that's one of the first compliments they give him because it's out of the ordinary. So I think a guy that can draw, that can write legibly, because most guys write like doctors,
I know some words. I can.
Oh, but you get what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I think you put art down with
No,
girls. When girls, I think most girls think it's hot. Like graffiti
Ladies,
and stuff. Like,
watch
girls
out.
love graffiti.
Oh, yeah.
Like, guys
I'm
that can
coming.
graffiti something. Come on.
Yeah, like I'm not putting artists down because regardless of either way, ladies just are repulsed by me. And it's only because of my personality and maybe the way I look too. But the skill, I like drawing. I like
Yeah,
that
you're
I've
good at
developed.
it.
Thank you very
You should
much.
try to draw me like a French whore. I'd like to see your drawings.
They're not whores. They're
No,
sluts.
but going back to your bio though on Tinder, I think the one you have now, Joe, is good. But the one you used to have, when the picture I took in the bathtub of you,
Yeah, I still have the picture. It's me in a bathtub. What video were we filming? Because we were in a hotel.
I was
we were
filming a little short song. This is back when Vine was a thing. I was making like a little Vine on Facebook, Songs in Real Life, and it was Freddy Krueger.
That's right. That's what it was.
And we were
That's the
playing
scene with the-
Wildest Dreams by Taylor Swift out of the bathtub. But
I took a little dip myself, and he snapped a picture of me, and that was, for a while, that was my bio, and then I don't know, Tinder's hit and miss. It's interesting. I know everyone has a Tinder to get their little ding dong wet, but maybe that'd be cool too. Maybe it happens with me. Maybe it doesn't. I'm not going to share my
When
my
do you
my
Tinder the most? Like when's your most swiping?
winter.
For me,
Winter, man. That's when
No,
what
like,
everyone wants someone to
Not
cuddle
not so much the season, but like let's say you're in your house, right? And you are like, for instance,
on a toilet.
Yeah.
Toilet.
Are you a swipe and wiper?
Well, funny story. Recently, I was talking to a girl. It got hot, got heavy, got good. She said, "Hey, looking for like a friends with benefits type thing." And I was thinking, well,
Is that what Tinder stands for?
well, perhaps. But we were exchanging information and trying to set up a date. A date.
Like a
And by the way, I was on the toilet. That's important to the story.
Right.
That's important for later.
Question, I have a feeling.
Okay. And then I dropped the phone in the toilet. So you came
Oh,
back.
so that's how your phone
Wait,
broke.
for
You
real?
were
And then my phone's broke.
Tindering
Yeah.
when you
I
dropped
was-
and broke your phone.
Yeah, and
Wow, y'all.
yes, there was. I was peeing, sitting down, but only because I told the story and they're like, "Wait, you pee sitting down?" It's like, well, yes, but also I had a good reason. I was gonna poop, and I'm not gonna stand up and pee and then sit
Right.
down and poop. That's just stupid.
Yeah, you got to knock
It's
it all
nice
out
on
once.
knock it
Yeah.
all out.
Exactly.
False
Thankfully, no turds. I didn't drop any of those before the phone went in, but the problem was
would've been
my
bad.
phone was wet with my pee, and like I tried to wipe it off real quick, and I just sent her my I had to send her my like, hey, here's my Snapchat, and just to keep the conversation going. But I haven't had a phone for a couple days now, so she's probably either lost interest or maybe she thinks maybe she's tried messaging me and I haven't responded.
So you're
So it
playing
seems
hard
like
to
I'm
get.
making
But
her-
this could
making
work
her
in your
sweat.
favor.
And then later
that.
I'll
I
come
like
back
that.
and be like,
Wow.
hey, so are you ready to be friendly?
Yeah.
and
So the swipe and
beneficial
wipes like a
to
good
each other.
strategy. It kind of,
Woo!
man.
I like that.
When are you getting a new phone? Because I kind of want
Hopefully it comes in the mail tomorrow.
to. Okay.
But
Same phone.
no, I guess my model's so out of date that I had to get.
You couldn't even go back to the one yet because it's
Yeah.
so old.
You had
yeah.
the Galaxy, right? One of the Galaxies.
I had a Galaxy. You know what? So it's all touchscreen. But for the longest time, I only had. I don't know if this is an interesting conversation to have for a podcast, but you can always cut it if it's not good. But buttons. How do you feel about buttons on phones? Do you miss them? Or
I miss the buttons.
I miss the Sidekick LX, like the flip screen, the flip phone.
Yeah,
I
with
love
the-
that. Well,
the-
you had a little keyboard.
Yeah.
I don't
Like
miss.
the slider phones, like the rocker.
Yeah,
and
I don't
stuff.
miss. Well, I don't miss like the razors were really big. I don't miss.
I never had a
I don't miss the
razor.
razors. I miss the
I had a
side. I miss
razor.
the Sidekick LX. Those sidekicks were so cool. I used to always love just
Yeah,
flipping it.
Me too.
I kind of need a little coffee refill.
Mine's so cold.
All right, we're gonna take a little coffee break,
Right back at
a little
you.
bathroom break, but we'll be back at you after these short messages.
See
Thank you very
y'all
much.
later.
Great idea.
You know what's better than pizza? Nothing's better than pizza. But there is a close runner-up. The Cardinal's Nest on Castbox.fm. It may not taste like pizza, but it sure is cheesier. And it's also available on Android and iOS. Pizza's not free, but the podcast sure is.
My eye is watering.
Is there something saddening you, Joe, that you want to talk about?
There's a lot. But I don't want to talk about it.
All right, that's good. Because the people don't want to hear it.
Probably not.
Yeah.
But people probably do want to hear. Steve, how did you and this young lady meet?
Well, Joe, I'm just so happy you asked that question. We
Oh,
met
Lord.
on it was Tinder, right?
Originally,
We
yeah.
first started speaking on the Tinders.
the Tinder app.
It was very short and brief though.
And probably not until a year later that we actually like had a full-fledged conversation.
Yeah.
Love is patient.
Yes. We crossed paths a few times, but it wasn't until the right time where it got right.
Real right. So I was at our usual bar, actually, which he didn't know was my usual bar.
Which burned down recently.
Oh, rest in peace,
Yeah.
wise guys, Garfield. We love you.
They're rebuilding, but it is one of the best bars. My go-to bar,
Yeah.
and it actually had a little burn down the day after our anniversary. Which,
Yeah.
if it burned down on the day of our anniversary, that's instant breakup signs.
I haven't
Wow. Whoa. I don't know about instant.
You
breakup
knew. The
signs.
day of our anniversary, our favorite bar where we met burns down.
Well,
Come on,
maybe
that's a sign.
maybe
That's
we
a
were
sign.
stronger than the bar that
That's glass half
created our
empty.
existence. Come on.
Well, I wouldn't.
Yeah,
I mean,
that just means
was
what
so
that just
negative.
means what you
Negative
got.
Newman. He's been a negative Newman all day, guys.
You guys
so
are on
back
fire.
to the story. Let's
That's
be
what that
honest.
means.
Yeah, we're
I
on
like to go
fire.
by Nancy.
Why
Call me
put
Nancy.
why put a flame out that's still
I'm
burning?
so sorry.
Hey,
I keep interrupting you.
You know,
No,
I,
it's
you know I didn't
okay.
mean. You know I didn't mean.
Wow, don't both touch my shoulder. That's creepy as.
Can I touch him?
Yes. All right. So
All right, how's
here's the
that?
story. Y'all be in love about this. So I'm there with my good friend that I work with, going to get a drink, and I was going to my friend's right after. And Joe, why?
Joe just let one out.
He was asking for it.
All right, go back to where we were. You got it. You got it, girl.
I mean, anyways, and you were there, actually. You were in the booth with him. And I got hit in the back of the head with a piece of popcorn, which Wise Guys is known for. And he asked if I was single. Well, he asked if I was from Tinder first, and then asked if I was single.
I had to get a few drinks in before.
Yeah, he was kind of drunk. Well, his aim was off the first time anyway.
Only threw, only shot
Two.
twice. Yeah.
Right. Well, then he came over and started talking to me and my friend. I ended up leaving because, like I said, I was going to my friend's house. And my friend started texting me sports because he knew I liked sports, but Steve spelt everything wrong. So I called him out and I was like, do you actually really like sports, or are you just trying to impress me? And then he had to tell me that my friend Aaron took his phone and was texting for him.
Well, what happened was I was
He
in a,
X-rayed me, by the way.
Aaron did?
Yeah, but that's
I was in a conversation with Joe and everybody, and I couldn't, like, you were sending me a few text messages, and I couldn't really take it all in because there was so much going on. So I showed, I'm like, Aaron, like, do you know how to respond to that? And he's like, I got it. I've known
know
her.
Tia.
I've known her for a long time. I know Tia. So I give him the phone for a few minutes, and I don't check it till the following afternoon when I wake up, and it's just like he was spelling we were talking about
Like,
lines.
I'm really big into sports, have everyone know. And everything was spelt wrong. There was no real facts. He was just throwing out words that he knew about football into text messages.
How do you spell Matthew Stafford's name?
It wasn't Matthew Stafford. It was like Matthew Stanford. Like
it was something that was way off. Yeah.
It was so bad. It was really bad. So I had to call him out.
Long story short, we met over popcorn.
Yep.
And we recently had our first out of state trip together. We did a little road trip to Chicago, and they're known for they have a little place out there. It's called Garrett's.
Yeah, it's so good.
Actually, where did I put?
It's
that?
like it's like a little assembly line of popcorn. You can go there for like your lunch break. All the businesses.
Here it is, right
It's
here.
kind of cool.
Joe,
Skyline
you were over.
Chi-Town.
You were over recently, and you have yet to try. I remember I was trying to
Yet to
offer
try.
you some
There's-
popcorn. Are you not a popcorn guy, or you don't like flavored popcorn?
you said there's caramel on that, right?
And cheese. Well, like the whole thing with this, it's a Chicago mix.
Did
It's
you
the
say
Garrett's
caramel?
mix.
Yes. Well, it's CARA.
I say caramel, like the Southern people say it, and y'all say caramel normally.
Yeah,
Why-
but that's not how it's spelled.
Thank you.
I'm just mixing up the
Y'all.
popcorn over here. I'm
Oh,
just
that
mixing
was
it up.
great.
Don't mind this noise.
I really haven't came across somebody that says it like that though. Up here,
Caramel.
caramel is
Let's
how
try
it's
this
spelled.
caramel.
Well, real
Thank
quick,
you.
real
It's
quick.
caramel. Yeah.
You gotta get the perfect little cheese and
Called
caramel
Garrett's
mix.
actually. Garrett's mix.
Garrett's mix. Do you want a little?
Used to be called the Chicago mix, but locals told us that
It's like
there was a restaurant that sold it like that, and apparently they had it trademarked, so Garrett's had to call it Garrett's mix now.
you won't get the
But
full
we all know.
the full mix without.
I don't.
You want to try the cheese?
I don't want your
Put it in your
popcorn.
mouth.
Just.
I'm gonna do one more mix.
I've been.
because-
It's
Joe, just
not
put
the
it
first
in.
time I've heard that.
But when we went to Chicago, all we had in mind was Garrett's popcorn. Had to go check out that
The
bean,
bean,
Cloudgate,
Mm-hmm.
and what else? That's pretty much it.
Well,
I know there's a lot
Not
a
really.
lot to see. Our whole thing was we wanted to go there, and we also wanted to go around bar hopping and drinking around.
yeah, we went to like our vacation consisted of a lot of arcade bars.
Oh,
to-
yeah.
Yeah, we went to a couple of them, 3 of them, right?
I think we went to one in Detroit when we got home.
One in Chicago, one in Detroit.
Detroit.
We didn't go to another one. What?
Sorry. I
He's making fun of the way you said Detroit.
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 wasn't making fun. I was having fun.
There we
Alright,
go. That's
well-
more like it.
Y'all pick it how I say New Orleans, and y'all say it New Orleans.
Yeah, a lot
New
of
Orleans.
Whatever.
a lot of
Like I say
arcade, a lot of
Detroit, New
arcading,
Orleans.
a lot of drinking, and popcorning.
Good concerts.
Yes.
Checked
Oh
out the,
yeah,
Checked out the Swayze.
that was Ferndale. That was Michigan. We were still out in the Michigan way. But real quick, I grew up loving. I still love Swayze, and I was big on Swayze back in 2000. You know Swayze, Joe? I used to bump him on the way to
He's
school.
the guy that he was on Rick and Morty.
Buzzing
No,
that was
all
that's
over
Logic.
me Like she fell in love.
I don't know who that.
Well, Swayze, I could name a few songs, but Swayze is like I was really big into him back in high school, and I got to live my high school dream by going to his concert out in Ferndale and meeting him and hanging out with him.
We actually hung out with him. Yeah, it was cool.
He has a song called Corona and Lime. Great song. Well, that's one of his biggest ones. I remember after the show ended, I walked up to him, handed him a Corona and Lime. It was just such like a really cool feeling. Like if I did that back in 2008 when he was first popping off, like that would have been an honor. It still was an honor.
Yeah.
It kind of happened 10 years
Took a
later.
lot of tequila shots with him. He's definitely like a beach drinker for sure.
Oh yeah, no, he's an awesome dude.
His DJ is a good driver. Way to go.
Oh yeah,
Keep it dry.
his DJ was our DD for the night
Yeah.
because we went bar hopping after the show. So we were I don't want to brag or anything, but we brought the most energy at the Swayze concert.
Yeah, for sure.
What type of music?
A lot of his songs are very like, it's not like Bone Thugs and Harmony rap at the same time. It's not like NWA rap. It's kind of like Shaggy and Rap had a baby.
She was buzzing
You know
all
what I'm saying?
over me.
Was it me?
Like
Shaggy?
reggae. Yeah, he's got that kind of a vibe, like a really like he's a beachy vibe all
Oh, yeah.
around. He
We
drinks
saw him.
beachy,
Yeah, we
raps
saw him
beachy.
out in Michigan during the winter, and he brought that beach vibe to Detroit. That's what it felt like.
Right.
But I wanted to rewind. Swayze was awesome. I want to rewind back to Chicago because we spent our first 2 days in the hotel. We never left the hotel.
Yeah.
And Joe knows this. I think you know. I love hotels. I don't like leaving. I can spend the whole day in a hotel and be happy about it.
We didn't even have a hotel on the way up.
Yeah. So you picked the. I was driving there,
We
and she was
booked
in.
a hotel on the way.
She was a co-pilot. I also want to talk about that as well
Oh,
because
no.
Joe over here is a very bad co-pilot.
Unless you like silence while you drive, then Joe is a great co-pilot for you.
I'm a sleepy boy. So
We only were looking into hotels with hot tubs and everything, right?
Right.
So how'd you ended up finding a jackpot?
Well, I just went on like Travelocity and looked up a certain hotels close to like the downtown area that was walking distance, and then I narrowed it down to hot tubs. And then the one place that we ended up going to, the hot tubs are
was down.
but shout out to Hilton because they paid for our lift all the way there and
to go to the
back.
sister hotel, yeah.
They just gave us cash for it too. They didn't like. I don't
And we
know.
had enough, like there and back, we had enough to tip the drivers too. So they gave
Right.
just the perfect amount.
Yep.
One of my favorite moments of the trip, I don't know if it was our second or first day, but we went to the
Second day.
second day. We went to the
Yeah.
hotel lobby wearing our white robes. And it's really cool because
And slippers.
and slippers, yes, that's
In prime time.
prime time. And it's a business area. It's like everyone's
Yeah.
dressed up.
It's like business lunches. There was like local people on dates that were walking to nearby theaters.
It was awesome. That was one of my favorite moments.
do you guys like each other or something?
Anna and Bambi. We actually want to do one of those, like go to a hotel bar and like act like we don't know each other. I get there first, and then like he like steps in if someone's hitting on me, or vice versa. Like if he's
But if we
hitting on
both
me
go
and somebody
there,
else,
we
you know?
both go there not knowing each other, both wearing robes, they're gonna know something's up. We can't
Well,
wear robes on
no.
that day.
No robes, but you gotta wait for another guy to hit on you. Some
No,
hunk.
I want to let him hit on her for at least like an
Yeah.
hour.
hunk. And
Oh,
then
an
and then
hour?
he
No, maybe
comes in.
that's too
Yeah,
much.
that's
Maybe,
way too long to leave.
Only-
me alone
only-
with
only
somebody.
like a-
and not to mention creepy if you're just watching from afar while I have to play a role of like.
you're right. How long is too long? How long should I make
I
my
mean,
way?
I think you should give him about like enough time to buy me a drink.
I'll give him 2 hours.
That's way too long.
All right.
He's got to be a real jerk, some dang hunk, some asshole. And then you got to walk by, and then he should say something like, "Oh, look at this hobo, this dweeb, this dork," and then you should walk up and then be like, "Madame, I would like to order you a drink," and then he'll giggle for a second, like, "This guy doesn't
This
have
guy
a chance,"
can't
and then
get-
you're like, "I want you to drink me," and then.
I want to do it right now.
How do you feel about breakfast in bed? One of those things.
I like breakfast in bed.
I like breakfast in bed.
Well, something I wanted to touch back on because, hey, I said it before. I'm going to say it again. This is an amateur podcast. It's going to be jumping around. But
We get loose.
I would rank someone that can, that's as talented as you are drawing. If you draw, I think that's
Stop
up there with, playing an instrument.
I think girls would be equally as interested in like a guitarist as a tattoo artist as well.
Yeah, but like I draw cartoons, so I'm the weirdo with action figures who likes Powerpuff
But you're
Girls.
in the perfect generation.
Well, it's like I don't draw to get girls. The thing is,
It's
it's
so
just like it's a
sexy, though. It's
byproduct. Like if
so-
you're an artist and you're a guitarist, like
Yeah.
you're gonna get some
But
kisses.
just know,
you're
I
gonna
think-
get your hand held, and you might even get to see a nip or two.
But I feel like if people
Right.
knew how good you could draw, you might be able to see,
That's what I'm saying.
maybe four
It's-
tits.
I think it's a harder like talent to exploit like versus like musicians
Like,
and stuff.
But I wanted to bring it back up and underline it because I also think side by side with being an artist is how I am with Gears of War, Xbox.
oh my gosh.
Because you see me play.
Yeah.
And I feel like if we weren't together and you kind of walk by, you're like, wow, dude, he's killing the game right now.
Right. You're really really.
You'd be
good at
like,
it.
wow. You hear that, guys? That was, you said I'm number one. You said in the world.
Status avoid on Xbox Live.
Right,
This
avoid
boy
me,
right here.
avoid me.
Okay,
Because he's great at Gears of War. He's like a Gears of War god. Yes, I'll give him that. But he is Lord of the insults.
But
on
it's not
Gears
like
of War.
personal insult. It's more like based around the game.
Right.
You tell them you're gonna kill them and their
No,
entire
he calls
family.
them
Right?
broken bots and tells them to go to bed and say my name. Oh my god, he tells them all the time. After this game, you're gonna say my name.
Okay, so I just want to say I've been playing Xbox Gears of War mainly since 2008 when the first one came out. But in Gears of War 4, this newer one, because like when you're playing a competitive game, most competitive games you can't talk shit to the people you're playing. You can talk to your team, but you can't talk to the people you're playing unless it's like free for all. I think that you can, but in Gears of War you can't talk to the people you're playing. Up until Gears of War 4 on the Xbox, you can plug a USB keyboard in, and during the game in the global chat, you just hit U on the keyboard and you can like talk shit in the chat. So during a game, I'm just talking. And
Right.
that's why my status is avoid me, because if I'm having a really good game and I'm backing my shit talk up, I'm going to get flagged. But even if I'm not backing it up, they're going to still flag me.
If your keyboard didn't go out as much as it does, you would be like banned.
Yeah, sometimes the keyboard doesn't work. I think it's because of my
He
the
actually
rep
gets-
right now.
He gets mad about it. He'll like go to
Yeah,
save and be like, fuck.
Well, I don't know. Like, I feel like
not working.
it makes me play better when I know they're mad at me. I don't know. I just love Xbox. And yes, I did go out of my way to buy a keyboard to talk a little shit.
I mean, but that's in every competitive thing. Like in soccer, especially like girls' high school soccer, we would always like tug on their shorts and like pretend like we were hitting on them or something. And it would kind of make them stay away from us because in high school, everybody's kind of insecure about that.
Yeah.
And so like some of our girls would really be like hitting on them. And so it would just keep them away from them the whole time.
I do want to back on, because we're talking Xbox. Remember, it was Perfect Dark Zero. It was,
Boy. You know, Perfect Dark Zero, that game that no one remembers and that was like infamously
it
terrible.
was the first, one of the first Xbox 360
It was a
release
launch
games.
title
Yeah.
for Xbox 360, and now this is a great story. Get ready. It was a free for all match. Me versus you versus Troy.
It was
But
free.
you
It
and
was free
Troy
for all, but me and
you
Troy
and
turned
Troy-
on you. Yeah.
Turned on me,
And we left the party chat, I think, and me and Troy just went together. We're like, oh, we're gonna just dominate Joe.
and this is where things get crazy. See, there was one gun that creates a hologram, and I made a hologram myself. They were shooting at the hologram, and
Around the corner.
I sneaked in.
Did you end up winning?
I ended
You
up
killed
winning.
both of us in that moment. Yeah.
And
Y'all were, oh, wow.
and after that really opened up my career in gaming. I joined MLA. What's it called?
MLG.
MLG. Did you ever watch speedruns for Super Mario Brothers 3 and 64?
I don't watch them, but I have seen them. Yeah.
They're crazy. The glitch runs they're. If a young lady was able to speedrun Super Mario 64 by doing all the glitches, we're talking a 0-star run. You guys know what I'm talking about. 0-star run, glitching through walls and getting to Bowser and beating the game. Now that woman, if she had low enough standards,
Find him
she
on
would
Tinder.
be my lady. Resident Evil's remake for GameCube is my favorite game of all time. And there's this guy, Carcinogen. He does speedruns for that game. And he opened up my eyes to a whole new world. At one point, I was thinking, like, I want to be happy, you know. I want to make friends. I want to meet girls. And then I saw him play this, and I was thinking, I got Resident Evil.
So wait, because you go back and
And-
replay games. Are
yeah.
you trying to beat it quicker?
The Resident Evil games, like Resident Evil 4 and Resident Evil Remake and Resident Evil 2, I probably played those games over 20, 30 times.
Damn.
Well, like,
Wow.
some of the games are, like, if you know what you're doing, you can be in a couple hours.
Oh yeah.
And it's just like, I don't know, it's kind of fun to be like, oh, I want to try and do this without getting hit once. I'm unable to do it,
Right.
Because I remember there've been a handful of
fun.
times where I would come over and you'd be playing Resident Evil again. I'm like, you
I
beat
know,
this like
I
a million
know.
times already. Why are you still playing it
but
again?
well, if a game is really well designed, then you want to, I don't know.
Yeah. The only game I beat more than twice, I think, was your favorite game, Joe, Kingdom Hearts, the first
It's
one.
got good music. I just hate
Yeah,
the
the
game.
but the soundtrack is a big part. But the
I know,
game, like the
but-
Resident Evil, how's the Resident Evil soundtrack?
It's good. It depends. Like Resident Evil 2, as we all know, it's got the best soundtrack of all the Resident Evil games.
So how Resident Evil 2 be without that soundtrack?
Well, I mean, it creates an atmosphere. That game,
Yeah.
the Resident Evil games are.
Because I can't
mostly
imagine Kingdom
atmospheric.
Hearts without the soundtrack.
I don't know. It's just not my style of gameplay. I prefer different. I'm
Yeah.
not a big RPG guy.
I don't want to get too much into Kingdom Hearts. I'm saving that for a different day. But
Good, because I don't
Tia-
really know
Tia
too much
looks
about video
like-
games at all.
I thought you were big into Kingdom Hearts.
No.
You had the.
Oh,
I
no.
love Disney.
she had
stuff.
when she came over to my
but-
place, I have the Sora costume from the second one. I have the big keyblade, so
Right.
I made sure to put her in the little.
I've been in a lot of your costumes.
I sent Joe that photo of you dressed as
Oh.
Sora, and I was really happy about that moment.
Oh,
That was on
okay.
Snapchat.
Was it Snapchat?
Yeah.
And you sent me something on Snapchat while you're in Chicago. You're in an arcade.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
There
We
was,
went
like,
to.
Wario graffiti and Mario graffiti. and all
Yeah.
kinds
They
of
had
stuff.
they had Wario in there.
But
They
you're-
had.
They were playing a song in the background. Window Liquor, Aphex Twin.
Oh, you would love this
It was
bar.
such a local bar. Like I think we were the only out of towners.
You remember the name of
there.
it?
Emporium. It's Emporium in Wicker Park.
Oh,
Chicago.
Wicker Park, that was
Wicker
it.
Park.
Yeah, the
Enjoy
movie
his
with
movie.
Rose Byrne. I used to have a major crush on Rose Byrne back in the Wicker Park days.
The soundtrack's great. That's a great example of the soundtrack
What
taking
made,
over
what
the
made me love the movie
sort
so much was that song by was it Aqualung, Strange and Beautiful. I love that song. Well, of course, Rose Byrne made me love that movie more because like I wasn't really watching it for the movie. I was watching it for Rose Byrne and Josh Hartnett, both very good-looking people.
Dude, he was
He's
I
gorgeous.
like him. What happened to
Yeah.
him?
I checked his IMDb
He died
recently.
in Pearl Harbor, and that was it. Like that was it.
Oh, he was in
He just died.
30 Days of Night.
Yes, that's a good movie.
He's in Faculty, The Faculty with
Didn't
Elijah
we watch
Wood.
one with him recently?
Sin City. We watched Sin
Okay,
City
all
with him.
right, yeah.
I've always liked him. I thought he was a good actor.
Maybe you just pulled Steve Kardynal in the YouTube in the movie world and was just like,
He'll be back in 10 years.
I'll be back in 10, 20 years.
he'll come back with
A podcast.
a podcast. And everyone's going to say, like, that's the least original thing ever.
This podcast is going to be coming at you, I think, pretty fast because this first season, I'm going to separate the podcast into seasons, and this first season is going to be 25 episodes, and they're going to be coming hard and becoming sexy.
But they will be supplemented by
Yeah. Oh,
other
yeah.
stuff that's coming.
I did the first podcast back in when did we release that first podcast? It was a few months ago.
That was
but
in August or October, maybe?
Yeah, it was October.
For a long time, I was holding off dropping the podcast because I wanted to drop songs were like 5. I wanted to drop something else that would kind of like, because coming back after so long with It's a Podcast, people are going to get mad. That's why the comments were kind of all over the place, kind of mixed, a little Garrett's Chicago mix in the comment section. But going forward from here, the podcast is going to be, filled in with songs of real life, Lazy Love.
Keeping you updated on new
Me and
stuff.
Sweet Tea are over here, are doing a little music video.
Yep.
Should we say this? Should we say the song? No, we'll keep it under wraps for now. But
Yeah.
it's gonna be
maybe tune into like podcast 7, 5,
yeah.
7, 5, 7, 8,
down the
9.
road is coming. It's probably gonna be one of my busier years on the internet.
He's actually going to be active. Who knew?
The bar I have set for being active is so low. It's where I gotta
There's-
post like 2 videos and I already broke it.
There's definitely something I want to address. You got a comment on one of the pictures you posted about us, and the guy said that basically Steve Kardynal has restrictions now because he's got a girlfriend, and
you made sure- you
there'll
made
be
sure-
no more naked or swinging on or just being in a leotard or anything. And I just want everyone to know it's a go. It's a go.
She encouraged it.
Yeah.
And you have a pretty good wardrobe. I can kind of
I
slip
have a
in.
very nice wardrobe, and we already share clothes. so-
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. There's been back-to-back days where I'm looking at my own closet, like a walking closet.
Right. I raid his closet more than he raids mine right now, but y'all will see my closet soon enough.
These guys think this was a pretty good episode. We could probably end off around here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can my first burp in front of you be on the podcast? I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do it.
Let it happen. Do it. We're loose here
Do
on
it.
the
Let it-
Cardinals.
it's a loose podcast.
I'm
Anything
not gonna
goes.
burp.
Just do it.
I was just kidding. It was a joke.
Tia, what the
Jesus
what the H?
Christ.
Did you just
Sweet Pope Jesus, you put
I
that
just
burp
threw up a
back in
little
your
bit.
mouth.
Real quick, you can't take the Sweet Pope Jesus credit.
But I love it. Okay,
was a
it's
gamer
not.
tag. It
It's
was-
a gamer tag. Whoever you are out there, Sweet Pope Jesus, I love it. It made me giggle the whole time he was playing you, and I use it a lot. Sweet Pope Jesus, this is for you.
Hey, the Sweet Pope Jesus on the Gears of War. I probably wrecked your shit in Gears of War 4. Let's be honest here. I don't remember, but most games I'm usually winning and talking
Sweet
that mad
Pope
shit.
Jesus.
Before we wrap it up, I wanna, because Joe has a YouTube channel. We didn't talk about it much on episode 1, but I want to bring it up.
It's not just mine. It's part of a group of guys. We're called Intergalactic Video 2000.
IV2K
or
for short.
IV2K for short.
I like IV2K.
We have several videos, but one of our videos that we filmed last summer, this young man was in it. That's Space Dog 2, Never Back Down. Classic tale of good versus evil. If you like awesome stuff or I don't know, good jokes. Well, there's no jokes in it. It's not really good. I don't even like it. Don't watch it.
Whisper real quick. We're gonna end a little ASMR. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for listening. Thank you, Castbox, for helping build this nest, and we will see you next episode. Well, you'll see us.